admittedly planning 2-3 months before by a gang. CBI officer specifically used very cautiously the word that so far we have not gone beyond Patna and Hazaribagh. CBI is not so novice that they will accept the statement of the accused arrested so far and close the investigation from the angle that whether it has gone beyond Patna and Hazaribagh. It is an evolving situation. The day we came first time before this honorable court for the writ petition, because mine was the first writ petition, we didn't know anything. Besides the fact that there were news items that there is a leak in Patna. Now, the main accused has not been arrested. Now, I would say the confidence with the learned Solicitor General to say that it is confined only and only to Hazaribagh and Patna is completely baseless. Investigation is going on. Can they file an affidavit that henceforth there would be no investigation to see whether it has gone beyond? If today the judgment come tomorrow, this Sanjeev Mukhia is arrested along with the mobile, which would show that he had sent it for 200 people in Sikar or different stations. I got to know that from Patna people have gone to Muktsar, Punjab to give a paper. And if here they say 4 locations they have been able to find. Suppose there are 100 more locations involving only, say, 1,000 people involved into 20 centers. How many people would those figures, if all of them have got, all of them will not be topping, all of them will not get 720.
So would I just assist us on one aspect? If the court cancel the examination today on the hypothesis that investigation is not complete, the main conspirator is yet to be arrested.
That's right.
And there may be a possibility, we can't say likelihood, but a possibility that in some future point of time, maybe even a foreseeable future, the leak may not be only confined to these 2 cases.
That's right.
But should the court, in a situation like this where 23 lakh students have appeared, and we are dealing with the welfare of students across the country, and that's the worrisome part. We look at it this way, both ways. Let's put it 1 second. Let's put it both ways. We can't today. You are right, absolutely, that we can't say that the leak. We can't enter a judicial finding that the leak is confined only to Hazaribagh and Patna.
Correct.
For the reason that the investigation is ongoing.
That's right.
Even CBI can't tell us that. Today, as of now, it is confined to Hazaribagh and Patna. CBI's investigation in the next 15 days or 10 days might reveal a different, an evolving picture.
10 more locations.
So, we also, on the one hand, can't say that the leak is confined only to Hazaribagh and Patna. Equally, we can't today say with any degree of even prima facie authenticity or substance that the leak has gone beyond Hazaribagh and Patna in such a widespread or a systemic manner as to completely affect the sanctity of the entirety of the exam. That also we cannot say. Therefore, I asked that's why we want your assistance. Can the court, or would the court be justified in a situation like the one present to say that not on the basis of material which we have today, but on the hypothesis that some material in the future may show that the leak had gone beyond Hazaribagh and Patna. Therefore, today we cancel the exam on the basis of a hypothesis.
May I answer, my lord?
May not happen in future.
May I answer?
No.
When I speak,
No, Matthew,
when I wanted to speak, your lordship prevents me.
You please sit down.
No, I'm among the lawyers here, I am the senior most.
Sorry, you're not an amicus. I have not appointed.
No, I am appearing for 16 students.
Right.
When I wanted to speak, the Honorable Chief Justice prevent me from speaking.
Mr. Matthew,
And I have an answer.
He is arguing. You will not interrupt him when he's
I am not interrupting, but I have an answer to say. I
You
have an
are-
answer to give.
You don't answer my question. He is answering the question.
Okay, then, it's a general question. It's a
I'm
general
not
question.
telling you he's on his
No, I'm not interested in
He is on
engagement
his
with the Honorable Chief Justice, but I wanted to say,
You please sit down. I'll have to have you removed from the court. You please sit down. I'm warning you. I'll have to have you removed from
no,
the
your
court.
lordship doesn't
Hold on.
respect me.
One second. One
I
second.
my own will leave.
Mr. Matthews, I'm telling you one very simple thing. Mr. Huda is engaged in a.
Your lordships have tried every best
You have
not to allow me to
you have
speak and
no
put
right,
forward my
you have no
conventions.
right to intervene.
I'm not intervening, I'm leaving.
Please, yes.
But one
Yes,
thing is said,
Mr.
I wanted to say, I wasn't
Yes,
allowed to speak.
Yes, Mr.
When I was speaking, your lordship was showing the other side.
Yes,
And I have only one word to say, only
Yes,
one word
Mr.
leaving,
Mr.
one word to
Matthews,
say.
please call the security people, have him removed from the court, please.
I have only one to say.
You will not
can
say
be
anything.
established.
You will not speak to the gallery. You will listen to me. I'm in charge of my courtroom.
Listening.
You just keep quiet now. Yes, Mr. Huda. Yes, Mr. Huda. Yes, Mr. Huda.
I'm leaving.
Yes, Mr. Huda.
Unfair.
Yes, Mr. Huda.
Please.
This is not a judicial.
Mr. Matthews, I will now be constrained to issue something which is very unpleasant. Please keep quiet. Sit down here. You want to leave? It's your choice.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
You don't have to. You do not have to intervene. You don't have to tell me that you are leaving. Yes.
No, because I sought permission
I
sought permission to speak.
Matthews, you will not interrupt Mr. Huda. I will hear you, but I'll hear you after Mr. Huda is done. I am in charge of procedure in this court. And I've seen the judiciary for the last 24 years. I will not allow any lawyer to dictate the procedure of the court. I will give you a full hearing, but after Mr.
All right.
Yes.
I have
Now,
been
please keep quiet. Yes,
I have been
Huda.
in judiciary since 1979.
Yes,
Since 79.
may I, my lord,
This is contemptuous.
What you are talking about?
my response is, my lord, straight away.
I'm leaving.
Issue is no longer res integra.
Yes.
This has been answered in para 20 in Tanvi Sarwal's case.
Yes.
And the proposition is like this. The moment this honorable court finds that there is a paper leak and the fact has been established that it is a paper leak case. In that situation, unless and until the honorable court reaches a firm conclusion that we have been able to identify all the culprits and there is nobody left in the system who has from a back door is entering and becoming a doctor. Unless that satisfaction is recorded, no, this is my proposition for my lord's consideration. The examination cannot be sustained. And here, my lord, not only one fact.
In other words,
Lord, I'm just putting all things together, Lord, in a circle. Let me put all things together in a circle.
Your argument is that unless the court comes to the conclusion today
Correct.
that all the tainted persons are identified as of date, you have to order a retrial.
Correct. That's my proposition for my lord's
You can
consideration.
reflect on it for a moment.
Now, my lord, I put it in a sequence, especially in the effects of this case when the handiwork is of a gang operating interstate. No denying the fact. No denying the fact that the main mastermind is yet to be arrested. No denying the fact that the mobile phones used for dissemination of sold question paper have not been recovered. This, my lord, coupled with the fact which I have pointed out, but the reference, the learned Solicitor General, the analysis did, IIT NTA in their reply before this honorable court on affidavit says that CBI is investigating the matter. The conclusive opinion as to whether it was a systemic failure or not, that conclusion can be arrived at only after comprehensive analysis of everything. This is their reply of NTA in para 9 of their reply. So they are not sure themselves that whether it is a systemic failure or not. They will come to this conclusion after the CBI investigation.
Yes.
Now, my lord, in Tanvi Sarwal case, my lord, I just want to read 2-3 lines, my lord, for my lord's consideration, para 20. It says, even if one undeserving candidate, my lord, para 20, my lord, just allow me to read 2-3 lines, my lord, para 20. Even if one undeserving candidate, a beneficiary of such illegal machination, though undetected, is retained in the process, it would be a denial of the claim of more deserving candidates. At present, the examination stand denuded of sanctity. Now, my lord, as on today, I would say the whole world is watching. The paper has been leaked by a gang. Investigation is happening. Mobile phones are not recovered. Is there any sanctity left for this examination? Merely the figures are being thrown before this honorable court. Only the figures are being thrown before this honorable court that if
Place
re-examination.
figures before the court. We never throw figures.
Yes, Lord. 23 lakh people will be affected. This is way of submission, I believe. Lord, they say that 23 lakh people will be affected. No. Lord, it is not even the first 56,000 people who get the medical colleges. Rest all want a again chance, my lord. When, my lord, they are comparing the figures, they are talking of 1,08,000. And everything is being, my lord, their reference sometime to 23 lakh people, sometime to 12 lakh people, sometime to 1,08,000, sometime to 56,000. Sometime they categorize from 663 marks, sometime 550. They are clicking picture wherever they get the best photograph to justify on the data that if we take from this angle, this seems 0.5%, it may be justified. Lord, a leak case where it's not even 1% of the total people who wrote the examination are involved. Not even 1% will be 23,000 people. Even if there are 1,000 people who are beneficiary of this machination, there has to be a retest. So, my lord, we are finding a imbalance in a haystack where there are few needles here and they are inserted into the system. We will not find that imbalance. Now, my lord, I conclude here on a leak that saying that the integrity has actually gone. We can't reach a conclusion that everybody has been identified and rest all are pious people and they should not be bothered any further. Now, my lord, I come to their systemic failure, my lord, which I raised in my second petition. My lord, in my first petition, I came only for leak. My lord, Justice Pardiwala rightly pointed out. We came only for a leak. But, my lord, with the passage of time in this honorable court granted us time. Now, my lord, what we have found is there is absolutely no system in place for conducting this kind of an examination. Taking example of my lord Bahadurgarh, where now after flip-flop from yesterday, what they said, they changed 3 statements in the court itself. Now the statement is, with regard to, there were 3 centers. This I'm saying not as an individual instance. This I'm demonstrating that there were no systems in place for conducting this examination. And for this reason also, this examination has to go. If Re-Neet is a patient, it suffers from a multiple organ failure and the patient has to go. Now, talking of Bahadurgarh, they say there are three centers in Bahadurgarh. There is only one city coordinator who is authorized to collect paper. Now, for the two centers, they say the SBI paper was collected, given to those two centers. There was some delay in distribution. So at what level they took a decision to grant extra time then and there? Who took that decision that there was not all this like superintendent in Hazaribagh colluded with these accused? All these superintendents and invigilators and the city coordinators are private people. They are charging 2,000, 2,500 from the NTA and performing their job. Now, they are the people on the spot. Are they taking the decision to extend time that in these two centers?
That you argued.
Yes, Lord, I'm just rapidly concluding, Lord. These two centers, they extended time. Only SBI paper was given. Hardyal School, the curious case. Now, in their note, what they say is that for Hardyal School, the paper distributed amongst the student was both SBI and Canara Bank, both papers were given to the students. Well, this is what the 2-page note they have given today. They say at Hardyal School, Jajjar, initially both set of questions paper were distributed. What is this system? I fail to understand. After some time, SBI question paper was withdrawn. Now, who gave these instructions that SBI paper is to be withdrawn? If SBI paper was the actual paper, if at all, Canara Bank was wrongly distributed, Canara Bank should have been retained. But they say both were given, meaning thereby there is absolutely no sanctity. SBI is withdrawn, Canara is allowed to do. Lord, we have a video on record on which they have not commented the principal of this school, and we have the video, the transcript is on record. But let me say what she says. She says there is not a minute delay. Canara Bank paper was distributed. After 47 minutes or 50 minutes, we got to know that it should have been SBI. We contacted the agency, NTA, and they said, now its time has gone, now let them attempt Canara Bank. And we allowed them to attempt Canara Bank. This, the principal of the school is on record, and we can run the video just now. Now, in order to overcome of this, because they, after allowing the Hardyal School people to attempt Canara Bank paper all the time, they also gave them the grace marks. And they are not able to justify, because yesterday when this question was put to them,
Marks now are over because
that's right. Look, what I say, look, that's a different issue. What I say is there is absolutely no place in system. Somebody attempted Canara Bank paper, the entire 3 hours and 20 minutes, NTA grants them grace marks. Then they unilaterally withdraw the grace marks, and before this honorable court, they say, we committed a mistake, we committed a blunder, now we are withdrawing it, we are having a retest. This honorable court, the other coordinate bench, only says that, all right, you are withdrawing grace marks, you are having a re-examination. Fine, go ahead with it. But there is no adjudication that how they picked up 1,563 people, first to give grace marks and then to withdraw and a re-examination. There is another important fact, my lord, which they have not brought to my lord's notice. Out of this 1,563, 773 people were those people who could not make it even 164 marks. They were failed. After compensatory marks, they could not get even 164. They were allowed the re-examination. All students have to be put at par. And ultimately, Hardyal School participated in re-examination. Now, with regard to 3,307, they say the Canara paper was given. But I want to demonstrate that for their percentage, there are no two question papers which are at par with each other. Cannot be, in my humble submission. And this Canara paper, of course, they knew that is not to be used, but wrongly used. Now, curiously, in this 2-page note, they say out of 3307 candidates, 7 candidates have secured more than 622 marks, which corresponds to the top 56 rank, success rate 0.05. How they have picked up entire data placed before this honorable court today by the learned Solicitor General is with reference to 164 marks. For this 3,300, the reference point is 622 marks. And 622 marks out of 56,000 candidates. Probably this is the best picture they could paint here. Now, there is how these 60, what is the average of SBI paper, people securing 164 marks? And what is the average of people who attempted Canara Bank? How many on the touchstone of 164 marks? They have not given this data. So there is no parallel. Can't be. So this vitiates the integrity. Now, going, I'm just rapidly wrapping up. Going back to Rajasthan, Savai Madhopur and Ghaziabad. These students, they say late loss of time. The same day, the answer, the OMR sheets and question paper were there with these students for 6 hours, first 3 hours, 20 minutes, and later on the full time. How they can be said to be at par with the other candidates who had to attempt the same question paper? It was the SBI question paper was given to them in the morning session at both places. Ghaziabad, they refused to respond. Even Savai Madhopur, what is the justification for the same day and who took that decision? Now, they say that, all right, all these people, these invigilators and city coordinators are all private people, but we control them through CCTV camera. They are on affidavit before this honorable court saying that we got to know at 4:30 from social media that there was a loss of time in Savai Madhopur because a wrong medium question paper was given. Where is the CCTV camera? Why couldn't they come to know that there is a wrong question paper given to the people for 2.5 hours? And their reliance is on a social media for this. The same thing happened in Ghaziabad. So what is their system in place? Another thing, I found and pointed it out, which they have not responded back. Now, after how we have seen that certain centers are performing extremely well, especially now the comparison the Solicitor General was drawing between quota and seeker. Quota and seeker, the same amount of the total candidates were the same 27,000 at both places. But may kindly see the difference in the result between quota and seeker. It's more than 50% in every respect, on all angles. So the seeker has an advantage. Now, how it is happening, and maybe it is happening consistently. This time they are caught. The argument was that if we see the data with reference to the previous year, 2022-23, this time is no bump. I say this is happening consistently, even maybe previous years, because after 520, what is the mechanism? They have prescribed in the SOP that how soon the OMR sheet will be sealed. The question paper, the students can take out. These are the schools with no boundary wall, we have seen out of 49, only one is Kendriya Vidyalaya. There is no government school. There is no government teacher. There is no police involved there. And now after 520, the OMR sheet and the question paper is there with the invigilator and the center superintendent. Can't they have a teacher, biology teacher, physics teacher there in the center and say, now we will deposit it in the city center somewhere and we can deposit it by 8:30, and in the meantime, all right, if not more, let them attempt 10 more questions. And all of them are not for MBBS, because the merit goes, the people who get admission, the merit goes even up to more than 10 lakh in the BAMS and dental colleges, etc. BDS. Last time, I'm told it went up to about 12 lakh. So we are looking for the spots where the people are getting 100% or 700 or 650. No, this is also a breach. If somebody is able to attempt 10 or 20 more questions. So the system, I would say there is no system in place. And it is too easy to manipulate. And with this kind of a system which the NTA has adopted, their own roll, their employees are about 22, about 33 are on deputation. And rest is all they keep on issuing checks from here. Some videographer in Seeker is hired, check is given, and now how good the job is performed, there is nothing to monitor. No, my lord, an examination with this kind of a checks and balances, I would say it's completely farce and can't be upheld. And my lord, just one thing to add. Now, it is a coincidence, my lord, I read to this honorable court the news item which showed the e-rickshaw. Straight away, the news item was CBI, my lord, CBI is here, they will confirm that this e-rickshaw carrying the question paper, my lord, because question paper, this is a test booklet which contains.
Report number 3 gives that photo, clarifying that it's not a question paper, it is the OMR sheet.
My lord, if I can clarify just.
There are 129, the same photograph saying that this.
Mr. Mehta, just hold on, I'm just wrapping up in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Lord, what
there are
the submission
129
is
in
now,
my recent-
you see, I didn't
in
take
my
that. I didn't take that.
status report.
My submission is, Lord, there is a report and let the CBI respond to it with no filters in between. OMR sheet and question paper is in the same envelope, my lord, has it. It is never ever separate. And the report specific is that instead of this courier, private courier company, instead of taking the question paper on 3rd of May directly to the SBI and Canara Bank, it took it to straight away to this Oasis school where the breach take place on 3rd of May. Now, what is the investigation on that angle? Lord, if I can invite your kind attention to the news item, this is Times of India. Lord, page 12 of my first supplementary note, I have placed the Times of India report. If I can, Lord, just read a few lines from here. The sources told TOI that CBI attention turned to Oasis School located in Mandai Road, Kali Chowk, and its staff. The agency began gathering digital evidence and discovered that e-rickshaw had gone directly to Oasis School on May 3rd instead of proceeding to the SBI main branch where it was supposed to be stored. This is a report quoted by Times of India from the source of CBI. Now, what they say, except saying that it is because the report is somewhere below the e-rickshaw, Indian Express says it is OMR. OMR, my lord, will not go into trunks. My lord, let me explain this. After, as per their case, after examination at 5:20, the OMRs are to be collected. They have prescribed a specific cloth under which those are to be sealed, and those are to be given to the city center. There is one center in the city where all this is to be deposited. Hazaribagh, what was the center at Hazaribagh where these OMR sheets were to be finally deposited? And how come this, again, it is being, e-rickshaw is taking these OMR sheets? In a center, if there are, I do not know how many students are there in this Oasis school, but even if there are 200, 300 people, these are 300 pages. Those 300 pages will not go into the trunks and e-rickshaw. There is something which do not meet the eyes of this honorable court. Everything is not placed before this court. So, they have not come clean with regard to Ghaziabad. They have, yesterday, saw it with regard to Bahadurgarh. They first said Hardayal school, they attempted full-time Canara Bank paper. They said that for the other centers, we gave the grace marks. Then today they say, no, the other centers, we didn't give the grace marks because there was a loss of time. We gave them the extra time. Now, my lord, who decided There was a loss of time in maybe in Ghaziabad, loss of time in Rajasthan, Savai Madhopur. There they did not give extra time to attempt the same question paper. They asked the student to rewrite between 6 to 9. And in Bahadurgarh, some superintendent, or all these private people, they took a decision that, all right, we extend it for 1 hour or half an hour. Lord, may kindly send for the files as to who was competent to take this decision, who actually took those decisions. Are the principals of the school taking these decisions? How they picked up and chose 1,563 people? Who took those decisions? What are the file notings? What are the communications? Their only object as of now seems to be that anyhow we persuade this honorable court to sustain the examination, come whatever may. The entire confidence that the leak is limited is born from the fact that accused are saying that it is not beyond Patna. Why would the accused will confess that we have 100 other post-dated checks which are lying somewhere else and we had supplied question paper somewhere else also? At least CBI did not sound that confident that there is nothing beyond Patna. The expression used was so far. So, my lord, I would at the end conclude by saying this: there is absolutely no sanctity left. There is no SOP, there is no system fix that how soon the OMR sheet is to be sealed. My lord, I'm sorry to repeat it. And there is no system. Lord, may kindly notice this. There is no time frame given for sealing of OMR sheet in their SOP, which I have placed on record. They did not think it appropriate to find that if somebody living in Gujarat is applying for Maharashtra and giving address of Maharashtra, why wouldn't they ask the candidate to submit a proof? Lord, we go for a ration card, they ask for a proof. For an Aadhaar card, Lord, Aadhaar card is almost everyone. Lord, I'm sure all these 22 lakh candidates had the Aadhaar card with them. Why they're permitting this kind of malaise in the system? So grateful. Much obliged.